Aldebaran Duel is a game that I really thought I would like because the designer is Vladimir Suchi. Now, I hadn't heard of this company before called Dino, but I was very intrigued by this. It's a two-player game, a space game. Let me show you a little bit of it. I'm not going to go over everything in this game. I just want to give a quick idea of how it works. You're going to be going through different decks of cards. This is the deck for round 2. You'll be pulling these off of offers, they're called. You'll take cards. They have like a cost sort of that you take. You'll take 1 or 2 cards. And you're going to be doing different things with cards. Cards can be resources, so you can spend cards to pay for other cards. You see that the cards have costs here on the side, which incidentally are not the same color as the resources, but whatever. So this one would cost 2 food and 3 of that. And then the cards would do different things. Some of the cards are going to have you move up on tracks here. So these top tracks here will move you up, and that will give you like permanent resources of that type. That makes it easier to build cards in the future. Although the cost of the cards goes up too, so that's keep in mind that. These 3 down here are going to let players manipulate at the end of every round this disc, and you want to get it onto your side so that you score points. And that's one is going to move it up and down, one moves it like this, and then this one lets you move it a certain number of spaces like that. And then this spot here is kind of like a science resource that you'll spend to get bonus cards. Other cards show planets. When you get one of these planets, you have to build other cards to finish the planet completely. Like the section I just covered was a specific one, but anyone can go in there, but this one needs a specific type to go in there. So these 2 are finished. When these 2 fill in, then you get the resources and bonuses from that. And that's the game. The game's going to be 3 rounds where the cards get continually more expensive as you go through it, but whoever has the most points after those 3 rounds is the winner. So there's a couple problems with this game. The idea of drafting these cards, I love the idea of putting those planet corners on a planet to finish it. The game is too long and too sloggy to really be fun. So you get these cards, and I love the idea of the tracks, right? But there's a problem with those tracks that I showed you. First of all, let's take the bottom one. The bottom one where you move this token around on this track here. Ooh, that's neat, except it's basically just a big tug of war, and if one person pulls it, you can pull it back, and it just doesn't do a whole lot. It's a tug of war that's in all different kinds of dimensions here, but it doesn't really mean a lot. And if you don't draw the cards to make it work, one person's going to run away with those points. It's just not very interesting. And then the resource track. So that's an interesting idea, right? I play cards to play it with other cards, but I'd rather move up these tracks so that I don't have to play as many cards. And you start getting resources. You're like, I can finally afford cards. And then you go to deck 2 and you find out everything in here is more expensive. And it's not even like the cards are that much better. They're just more expensive. So then you have to get more resources, and you're like, I can finally afford the cards in round 2. Then you get to round 3, and it's even more expensive. So each round is not successively more interesting. It's just more expensive. I don't particularly like that. And then when you combine that with the game just being a little overly long and back and forth. So I don't hate this game. I give it a 6. It's not great. There's a lot of concepts in it I like, but it doesn't come together in a way that I enjoy, and it's not nearly as good as Vladimir Suchi's other games. So that's Aldebaran Duel.